This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for July 23, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, battered men braving up to report domestic abuse. From January 1 to the end of June this year, Jamaica recorded over 3,000 reported cases of domestic abuse, with the police stating that more men are braving up and lodging reports against the female partners. Deputy Superintendent Jacqueline Dillon, who is the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Domestic Violence Liaison Officer, told the news on Friday that since 2021, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the police started seeing an increase in the number of men facing domestic abuse. Dillon was speaking during the passing out ceremony for 24 policemen and women who underwent a 5-week domestic violence train the trainer course. The 24 are expected to train their colleagues on the best practices in dealing with domestic violence. The ceremony was held at the National Police College of Jamaica. Every year since 2021, we have seen an increase. It is early days yet in 2023, but we are still seeing the trend where men are coming for help and asking for help. I believe that as we go on to the end of the year, we should be able to analyze the reports some more and see how many men, the deputy superintendent told the news. According to Dillon, the more than 3,000 reports that the police have received up to the end of June is startling, but highlighted that it does not mean the country is experiencing more domestic violence than previously. It is a lot, but we have to also understand that more reports don't mean increases in domestic violence. It means that more people are becoming aware and are coming to the police for help. More persons now know that they can reach out to various persons for help, including the police, she said. Of concern to Dillon is that Manchester has been experiencing an increase in domestic violence reports, and she said that the problem is linked to 6 deaths in the parish since the start of the year. Overall, Manchester has recorded more than 600 reports of domestic violence, ahead of Kingston and St. Andrew, which recorded between 300 and 400 reports respectively. Manchester is leading the numbers. Most of it is among intimate partners. We do have family members, but it is mostly intimate partner violence. We are doing a careful analysis of Manchester because Manchester does not have a domestic violence intervention center, and so going forward, we have to look at how we put in resources to assist and make it easier for citizens in Manchester to get help when it comes on to domestic violence. There are parishes we never looked at before because we were focusing on Clarendon, Kingston, and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. Looking at the records is telling a different story when it comes on to these other parishes. I can't say it is caused by one particular factor, but we find that the reasons tend to be a lack of communication and a lack of persons being able to resolve their conflicts in ways that are positive, and the fact that people are not able to seek help at an early stage. Communities are not open to helping people who need help. Domestic violence does not only rely on people within families to get the help, but it also needs the support of the community members to help in ensuring people get the requisite help that they need, Dillon said. The 24 participants were exposed to topics such as psychology of self and emotional intelligence. Other core components of the training were fundamental concepts in gender-based violence and domestic violence in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and in a global context. They were also brought through Jamaica's legal policy and the framework relating to domestic violence, as well as the laws that relate. The training was tied in with Jamaica's National Strategic Plan around gender-based violence, and therefore the Bureau of Gender Affairs was integral in providing necessary material. Routine traffic stop leads to cracking of double murder case. Andre Knight and Fabian Davey were among a group of men who buried 2 bodies in a shallow grave in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, on an October night in 2013, and were about to use the cover of darkness to get away with a murder. That was until a chance traffic stop about 11:05 p.m. by a team of cops meters from where the bodies were buried on October 18, 2013. Soon, their dark secret began unraveling as a routine traffic stop quickly morphed into a murder mystery. Last Wednesday, nearly 10 years later, it took a jury 68 minutes to convict Knight for 2 counts of murder for the 2013 killing of Tanashe Bennett, a 19-year-old student from Clarendon, and Caron Fraser, 29, a Trinidadian man who came to Jamaica to pursue his dream as a music producer. Knight's sentencing hearing is scheduled for October 13. Davy died before the trial commenced. The bodies of Bennett and Fraser were found in the shallow grave on Arlington Avenue, Duncan's Pen, in an advanced state of decomposition on November 10, 2013, according to investigators. Their identities were confirmed through DNA samples provided by relatives, prosecutors Jamila Simpson and Kristen Anderson revealed. Bennett died from manual strangulation, while Fraser died from blunt force trauma to the head, the post-mortems revealed. The trial involved nearly 36 exhibits, including call records, text messages, a witness statement from entertainer Black Rhino, born Romaine Anderson, and the jailhouse confession of a prisoner who Knight confided in. The prisoner died of natural causes at the Kingston Public Hospital in 2017, forcing prosecutors to rely on Section 31D of the Evidence Act to have the confession included in the trial. It took a lot of effort and diligence, Simpson and Anderson told the news during an interview last Thursday, referring to the near 7-week trial in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. There were lots of issues as it relates to the admissibility of evidence and the fact that some people died along the way. According to the evidence, Knight, Davy, and at least 3 other men were traveling in a Honda motor car along the Marchpen Main Road when a police team signaled them to stop. Knight was arrested because he did not have a driver's license and could not account for how he came in possession of the vehicle. The other occupants of the car were released. Investigators later found the owner of the vehicle, who said that he did know Knight and that the vehicle had been rented to Fraser. Detectives learned too that Fraser was reported missing to the Spanish Town police, while a missing person report was filed for Bennett in Clarendon. Scenes of crime investigators were called in to process the vehicle and found traces of blood and dirt in the trunk. Tests conducted by the Government Forensic Laboratory concluded that the aspiring music producer and the student could not be ruled out as the source of the blood found in the car. The murder probe took a dramatic turn months later when an inmate who was being held at the Bogwalker police station asked to speak to lead investigator Inspector Ruben Gunter. The prisoner gave a statement saying that Knight confessed that he and 2 of his cronies killed Fraser and Bennett to fulfill a $500,000 contract. According to the statement, Knight admitted transporting the bodies in the rented Honda to the makeshift burial site. Further, the prisoner said Knight told him he had a telephone in his jail cell that he used to communicate with his co-conspirators and others to create a false alibi for himself. Call data records, text messages, and the cell site data for Knight and Davies' mobile phones, which were obtained through the Interception of Communications Act, showed 9 conversations between them on October 18, 2013, the day they were apprehended, prosecutors disclosed. Many of the calls were just minutes apart and lasted for seconds. The cell site they were using is the one that services the Duncan's Pen community. In one text message sent by Knight around 8:19 p.m. that day, he told someone, "Inna the bush a the something." Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.